Hi everyone, welcome back. This is a show where I talk about whatever the fuck I want to talk about. I'm Kai. Last night, I went to the Drums concert in Atlanta. It was so good. Oh my god. Johnny Pierce has an incredible stage presence. I was supposed to go with my sister, but she got sick, so I wound up going by myself, which I wasn't too nervous about because I went to the Taylor Swift concert by myself, but it was a really small venue, like only 625 people, so, it was just awkward. I enjoyed it by myself. It was great. Cold Heart opened for him. He was awesome too. Also, oh my god, this is random. Yesterday, when I was looking at my bank account, because I was like, I'm driving to Atlanta, I gotta get gas, I was like, why is there $7 in my bank account? I looked at my statement, and someone in Los Angeles used my debit card. And I was like, what the fuck? I later found out that it was just an acting website that I forgot to cancel my subscription, but hopefully that refund will be coming in the next few days, and I didn't have to replace my card, because I was calling the bank, and I was like, I need to report this for fraudulent charges. I had figured it out before I had to replace my card, luckily, because that would have been a whole process. Also, before I get started with the topic of this episode, it takes like 5 seconds to go to this podcast and rate it 5 stars. Pretty please, rate it 5 stars, just for me. It means more than you know, and I appreciate you guys for listening. So, before I do start this episode, I want to give a trigger warning. I will be talking about my personal experience with an eating disorder and how that has impacted my life. Everyone has their own insecurities, so even if you see someone that looks super healthy and has your ideal body, they're probably just as self-conscious as you are. 28.8 million Americans will have an eating disorder in their lifetime, and that's a lot of fucking people. Even statistics from 2013 to 2018, this rate has increased by 7.8%. There are a lot of eating disorders, and it looks different for everyone. Also, again, I am not a professional. If you're seeking help, there are a lot of resources out there, and you can contact a toll-free hotline at 855-875-5812. Again, that's 855-875-5812 to take a step into your recovery. I have an extremely fast metabolism. This means I can eat as much as I want, and I don't gain any weight. If anything, I'll lose weight when I eat, which has never made sense to me. Like, that, the math is not mathing with that. And growing up, those numbers on the scale always confused me. Some people would see that as a good thing, but it really harmed the way I looked at my body. When I started using social media, I was interacting with strangers online. I received a lot of false information which made me want to be skinnier. I'm able to talk about this now because, first, I'm practically an open book. You can ask me anything, I'll probably answer it. And second, I want to share my experience with it to possibly show even one person that they're not alone. Because having problems with your weight or your perception of your weight, especially during your adolescence, makes you feel like you're the only person going through it. But it's so common, and it's okay to want to get help. Going into middle school was when my binge eating disorder started. Suddenly, big butts were the new thing, and I had nothing. I was embarrassed and ashamed because cruel middle school girls will make you feel like utter shit about yourself. So I started eating, and eating, and eating some more, but nothing was working. I have never been above 130 pounds a day in my life. I'm 5'10". I know that's not quote-unquote healthy, but screw the fucking BMI scale. Your body can look like whatever the fuck you want it to. Not all bodies are going to look the same, and that's a really hard pill to swallow. It would come to a point where I would eat so much that I threw up. Not like I put my fingers down my throat to throw up, no, I would force myself to eat so much food that I would throw it all up. And whenever that happened, I would get so upset because I thought that was making me thinner, when all I was trying to do was gain weight. A lot of the time this gets mixed up with bulimia, which is eating a large amount of food and then purging after every meal, but they're very different from one another. Another thing that didn't help with this is that I didn't start puberty until I was 16. Super late bloomer. So in middle school, I was comparing my body to all these girls that were already way ahead of me in the puberty game. And when you're skinny in middle school, people will let you know that you're skinny. Same with being overweight. There's just never a good middle ground unless you look like these perfect models, then you don't have a good body. After overeating for so long, it kind of became comforting to me. When I was sad, I would eat. When I was stressed, I would eat. When I was bored, I would eat. Like I said before, eating disorders look different for everyone. Some people will have binge eating episodes, which I've experienced while being depressed because they coincide, and I want that comfort when I'm sad. After I have one of these episodes, I make myself feel like shit by beating myself up about it, like, you are such a fat ass, why did you eat so much? I want to say I was 14 or 15 when these episodes started, and that's also the time where my body dysmorphia began presenting itself to me. I would look in the mirror after eating something and see a morphed version of myself. Someone that weighed 20, 30 pounds more. Like, holy shit, my metabolism is catching up to me, so I would starve myself. Then I would overeat because I missed that comfort, and then I would feel like shit again and go back into not eating. It's a never-ending cycle, and I'm not going to lie to you, I still struggle with it a lot to this day. When I started high school, people made sure to tell me how underweight I was, how I needed to go to the doctor, people forcing food in my face because they thought I quote unquote didn't eat enough. Suddenly, the people I went to school with thought they were dietitians, and I had to take every word of their advice to heart. When people would tell me these things, it usually resulted in me going back into another episode and then hating myself afterwards. During that time in high school, when it got really bad, I was just a little over 100 pounds. I think I was around 5'6" then. There's never been a time where I've gone to the doctor and they didn't tell me I was underweight. I had a hard time opening up about my eating disorder because it felt so invalidated because of my fast metabolism. People making comments like, oh my god, I would kill to be able to eat all that and not gain weight. You're so lucky. Like, I don't feel lucky. I feel like shit about myself at the time, but because I was skinny, I had to be grateful for the body that I have. My binge eating episodes are very sporadic, and some people will have pre-planned episodes where they go out and purposefully buy a ton of food to have it readily prepared, but mine are kind of always unplanned and unexpected. I also find myself eating large amounts of food when I'm not even hungry, and that's where the sickness comes in. And throwing up is not fun. Using the cognitive behavioral therapy method has at times helped disrupt my behavior and my cycles, and it also taught me to try to track a better eating schedule for myself. But again, I'm not perfect. My body image has always been altered because of this. Another way this has affected me is I hate eating in front of other people. Like, it's not to an extreme where I won't do it at all, but I get really embarrassed eating in public. My brain's telling me that they're all thinking, oh, they're eating way too much, look at what a fucking pig that person is. I don't know why my brain tells me that the people around me are always thinking that. It's embarrassing. When I'm out eating with my friends, I would look forward to going home and binging, which ultimately made me more depressed. A part of recovery is acknowledging the problem. For a long time, I thought that what I was doing was okay, but I know it's not a good way to live. This is still something I struggle with a lot. Lately, I've been feeling like I'm having more episodes than usual, which sucks, but hey, my therapist comes back from maternity leave soon, so slay! I'm still figuring out how to navigate this. When I have my episodes, I feel ashamed, and I like eating in private. A big part of that is when I was growing up, my dad would constantly body shame my mom and my sister. He always made the point that fat equals bad. So I would hate eating in front of him. I was always self-conscious that everyone around me would think, when is this bitch gonna stop eating? And I'm really trying to tell my mind to stop making things like constantly body shame my mom and my sister. He always made the point that fat equals bad. So I would hate eating in front of him. I was always self-conscious that everyone around me would think, when is this bitch gonna stop eating? And I'm really trying to tell my mind to stop making things like that up, but it's hard. Binge eating makes me feel like I have a loss of control over my actions. Like, I know I'm not hungry, and I know my stomach is full, yet I still go back to the kitchen for more food because I know it brings me comfort. Another great resource is emilyprogram.com. They have virtual treatment options as well as residential care and outpatient care. They have an app as well called With Me When, made by a team of eating disorder clinicians. You log your eating patterns, and it helps you stay on track during your recovery, even when you have setbacks. Reminding yourself that you can eat tomorrow is helpful for me. When I'm in the middle of a binge, I gotta tell myself, dude, you're gonna eat again. It's okay. Tomorrow's gonna come, there's gonna be another meal, and you can eat it. My mind likes being busy, and the act of eating occupies it. For me, once the binging starts, it's kinda hard to stop it. Maybe I'm craving an Oreo, so I'll go get 2. Suddenly 2 is not enough, and I'll get 2 more. And I'll tell myself, this is it. Okay, no more. And then I wind up eating the whole package. Even though I'm full, the food is never enough. I used to restrict myself a lot from food, but in the long run, it caused me to crave it more because I became so obsessive about not eating it that I was constantly thinking about that food specifically. Sometimes I'll be having really good days where I'm eating healthy and genuinely feeling great about what I'm putting into my body, but then at night, I can't stop binging until it physically hurts. And I still don't know all the answers. I wish I did. Everything was a lot simpler when we didn't critique our bodies every time we looked in the mirror, before I was actually aware of what my body looked like. But living with this issue, I have to work through that and know that I am more than my body. I'm a human being that has so much more to offer than my physical appearance. For a long time, I didn't know why I felt so much shame when it came to eating. I just thought that this was how everyone feels because in our generation, it's so normalized to have a really complex relationship with food. It's so common, and if more people start talking about it, then more people will know that they're not alone. I think the reason I binge in private is because I won't think that I'm worthy of love if people knew what I was doing. If people saw the disgusting version of myself that I see every day, I don't want people to see me the way I see myself, and that is something I'm working on, don't worry. The shame also came because I didn't know what this was. The words binge eating didn't even cross my mind until years after I started doing this. So for a long time, I just thought there was something wrong with me, and I can never escape this exhausting cycle of overeating and then not eating at all. I told myself that I would never open up or tell anyone about this because it's so embarrassing. I was mortified if anyone found out, they'd think I'm disgusting. I can never let myself get hungry. I'm constantly thinking about my next meal, but I know if I get hungry, I will start to binge, and I don't know how to make my body stop that. It's scary because I'm putting all this crap in my body, and in the moment, there's nothing I can do to stop it. And that's another thing that came with the shame, the fact that people just think you can stop. People invalidate others' experiences with eating disorders if they don't look like someone who has an eating disorder. But that's bullshit because anyone with any body type can be struggling with something like that. It doesn't matter what you look like, and it doesn't matter if you think you don't have it as bad as someone else. Don't invalidate that. Don't invalidate your feelings and tell yourself that your problems aren't bad enough. Any problems with your body is super shitty because you're stuck looking in the mirror every day not liking the person you see at all. Your feelings are valid no matter what anyone else says. Are you looking for unique things to decorate your house? Do you like plants but can't keep up with watering them every day? There are these super cute things called moss balls. If you go to mossballpets.com, you'll find a wide variety of cute, as they call it, pet rocks, with different terrarium kits that can be a perfect gift for a friend. All they need is water and a minimal light source to survive. Go to mossballpets.com/discount/braindumpwithkai for a 5% discount on your first purchase. These little guys are so cute, and they literally live up to 200 years. It's wild considering how little work it is to take care of them. Again, thank you so much to Mossball Pets for sponsoring today's episode, and be sure to go to mossballpets.com/discount/braindumpwithkai for a 5% discount. I started taking this medication earlier this year, and my psychiatrist told me it was proven to help with binge eating. Now, I wasn't specifically taking it for that. It's for my bipolar. It's a mood stabilizer, but that was one of the benefits from it. So going into taking these meds, I thought that I was going to get better, but I never did. It was discouraging for a long time because I thought I was broken for still binging even while taking these meds, but everyone's bodies react differently to medication. Like when I got on Prozac in December, God, I hated that. It made me feel like I was out of my body. I was jittery. It's just, your body reacts differently. Since I went into taking it with that expectation and it didn't turn out the way I wanted, I disappointed myself. And I have to remember that I can't believe everything I tell myself, I can't believe everything I think, and I can't believe everything I feel. Feelings are not facts. I know my mind tends to lie to me, especially when it comes to my body image, because I've been so used to lying to myself about that for a long time. Something that hasn't helped me with this is restricting my diet. I know I talked about that before with me just only thinking about that one food I'm restricting myself from, but personally, I hate diet culture. You don't have to be on a diet to be healthy. You eat what your body needs to be healthy. It looks different for everyone, and I also rarely check the scale. Every time I step onto it, it's another reminder that I'm underweight. And I know that number doesn't define me, but it plants that in my brain and I won't stop thinking about it. And those thoughts lead to stress, which leads to another binge episode. There's no direct path in treating an eating disorder. Like I've stressed, it's different for everyone, so not one straightforward plan is going to work for everyone's recovery. I've had to tap into what helps me to learn what I need. Fake it till you make it. It's so true. I know it's so cringy, but if you continually tell continuously? Are those two different words? If you continually, wait, am I stupid as fuck? Okay, wait, continuously, is that a word? Okay, that's a word. Continually, that's not a word, is it? It is! Okay, I'm not done. Alright, sorry guys, had to voice to text that. Okay, so if you will, whatever continuously word you want to use, if you do that, and you tell yourself that you look amazing in the mirror, then you'll start to believe it. It's not going to happen overnight. You have to have patience, and that's why consistency is key. I have sticky notes on my bathroom mirror that are just positive affirmations, which really help me. Those are courtesy of my mom. She put them up while I was at the psych ward. Very cute. Even saying those things out loud just puts a smile on your face, which is better than nothing. That's all I got for today, guys. I've never talked about this with anyone. I don't think I have. Ever. So, thank you for listening. I'm sorry if that was a lot. I'm okay. Therapy's coming back in a few weeks, so... Yes! Okay. Thanks for hanging out with me. Remember that you are loved, you are valued, and you are appreciated. I'll talk to you guys next week.